Hello, and welcome to the third update in the series. We are looking at the corner tank this time. This is the 198 litre. It's, I believe, a Fluval Venezia. So I think there's some new fish in here which you haven't seen before, so I'll show you those. I'm about to do a water change and a clean up on it, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update like the other ones before I do that. So we've had a few changes in this tank. So we've got, these are the painted rainbows, and they've been in here from the very beginning. We've got a few females still here, and there's also a couple of males. It's a little bit difficult to see at the moment because this is evening time, but usually the ones with the slightly redder ends are the males. In the morning, like that one I believe is a male. In the morning he goes bright orange around his fins when they're doing the mating dance. So in here as well, what you won't notice is we had some phantom tetras, and they just didn't appear to survive very well. We just had a spate, unfortunately, of them all suffering and dying off, and we just haven't replaced them since. But you'll notice this is the last black male that we've got in the tank, just down here. So he's surviving quite well by keeping out of the way of the other fish. And yes, and the rainbow fish trying to show off for you here. I've just fed them, so because I'm at the front of the tank they think they're getting more food. So, you've just eaten. The other fish that didn't do so well in this tank, and I don't know whether we can spot him. There he is. So we had some dwarf neon rainbow fish in here. Now I've totally lost him. There he is. And yeah, around the same time as we had the deaths of the phantom tetras, we lost most of these. So I did a big water change at the time, and we didn't really have too many problems since. So instead of getting those fish again, in case it was the environment, for example them getting a bit stressed out with the other larger rainbow fish, we got some slightly more lively, slightly quicker fish in here. So what you can see is we picked out some more rainbows. So that, as you see darting about in the background, if the other fish let you see him, that is a Boesemani rainbow fish. We've got a mate for him in here as well, but she's quite similar to some of the other fish, so she can be quite difficult to spot. And we've got some other rainbow fish that are very similar to the Boesemani. They just haven't grown as bright. Again, quite difficult to spot those in amongst the chaos, but they've essentially got a slightly darker stripe than the other rainbows. So you'll see that one over there. There we go. Up by the top of the water there. There's one. If we can find her. Just hiding in the darkness there a little bit. And the other fish we decided to get for this tank is the ruby barb. So you can see we've got a pair of males there that are bright red. So if I can get some shots of them, they are very, very quick. So getting them in shot is quite difficult. And we've got a good few females for them, which are the ones that you can see are the paler, yellowy tan colour. And they're really nice. They're completely different behaviours to the other fish in the tank. They're a lot more buzzy and focused in their behaviours. You'll see them dipping in amongst the plants and picking up the food there. So that's just a couple of females there. So they're a real interest to watch. And the final fish we've got, which you can see here quite nicely, is it's a form of tetra. And I totally forgot what the name of the tetra was. And needless to say, I tried to find out by looking at 147 pictures of tetra on the internet and still couldn't work out what they were supposed to be. So they're quite nice. They sit in nice schools. They do actually keep out of the way of the other fish, which are absolutely competing for your attention at the moment. But they are a really pretty fish, and it's quite nice to just have a schooling fish in amongst the mix. So there's been some changes as well to the plants in the tank. We did have a lot of the plant, which you can see at the back there in this tank, and it grew very, very well to begin with and then ran out of nutrients, and that grows quite well as a floating plant. So what it was doing was lifting itself up out of the substrate, floating up to the top of the tank, and then getting very, very messy. So we removed that from the spot over there, and we've got a little bit of Boeseman that we've put in its place, which is just growing up. A lot of the other plants are doing well. They probably need a little bit more nutrients. Oh yeah, and we have skunk cories. Forgot about you fellas. These guys tend to keep out the way most often. At the back. Very good at keeping out of sight. There he is. Yeah, so the other plants are doing well. I'm not very good at remembering to put fertiliser in the tank, so there is a little bit of nutrient deficiency for some of these. So you can notice, for example, hopefully on this plant here, if I get it focused, you can see we've got a little bit of spotting on some of the leaves there. Again, attention-seeking fish. But the epiphytes that we've got in here, so the little anubias we've got here and over here, have grown much bushier. The Boesemani we've got at the back has gone a bit bonkers, so that's a massive plant now. And this schismoglossus is quite interesting. So this patch down here that I showed you is actually planted, and this patch over here is stuck on like an epiphyte. And they're both doing equally as well as each other. So I think they just need a few more nutrients generally than they've got. The crypts are a nice contrast. So we've got these crypts have grown in really well. And here. And we've got a nice big crypt at the back there, which is doing nicely. And of course we've got this mess here. So this is when I say we need to do a maintenance session on this tank, this is mostly the reason why. So I was cutting this back and replanting it. That was becoming quite high maintenance, so to be perfectly honest, I cut back a lot of it, and once I have a look at what's remaining, if the plant looks a bit stubby and rough, I replant. If otherwise, I just leave it. And this needs a considerable trim back. I think next time I won't plant this towards the front of the tank. The barbs love it because they dive in there and get any of the detritus that's come up on the bottom. But it is quite unnerving watching the skunks go in there, because they do. It does feel like they look like they get stuck, so you're always watching them with a bit of paranoia, thinking that they're going to not be able to get out of that by themselves. So you can see that there's a bit of algae on the glass at the sides. I will probably leave that on there because that is quite useful. We do have a snow white pleco in here. I'm not quite sure where he is at the moment, so if he does pop out to say hello, I will show you guys. So that will keep him happy, but I will do a scraping of the front of the glass to make sure that it's nice and clear. And that's the view of the whole tank at the moment. And just so that you can see, when we sit on the sofa down here, this is the view that we get from here, which is lovely. We find ourselves just leaning down on the arm of the chair and watching them all swim about. That's a quick update of this tank. I'll give it a nice clean, and I will carry on with showing you these updates just so that you can see what they're like before their maintenance session. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.